Okay, now we will be doing Premier League, Championship, League 1 and League 2 predictions. Not League 2, sorry, because I have no idea about anything in League 2. So, Grandad is just not going to be doing it today. Well, he has done the previous video, but he won't be doing this one because he's making a cup of tea, and that's very important. Okay, so Arsenal in the Premier League, I have Arsenal 13th and Grandad has them 6th. So they might be going to the Europa League depending on if they win the FA Cup or not. Okay, moving on to Aston Villa. I have Aston Villa in 17th place despite their losing Grealish, and that will be a big worry for them. But if they could sign someone for specialist signings for Arsenal, I have for the specialist signing, I don't think they will sign anyone that good this season, so that's why I haven't put anything on their specialist signings. Now for Aston Villa specialist signings, I think they could do with another winger, even though they've got Rudinena. And so I'm not sure if they need anyone. So I think Aston Villa can stay how they are, despite if they get relegated or not. Now and Grandad's got them in 14th position. Now moving on to Brentford. Now, despite them signing only Kia, I think they'll have a good season, even because they've got Ivan Toney. I think he'll be bagging some goals this season. So I think I'm going to put Brentford in 14th place. And Grandad has Brentford in 19th, so they'll get relegated. Okay, moving down onto Brighton and Hove Albion. So I think they should... Brentford star signing. I think they'll have a small little budget, so I think they could buy loan Juventus's Bernardeschi. I think it's a good idea for them. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Now, Brighton and Hove Albion. Their star striking will be Patrick Schick. He'll be a great striker, I think, for them, despite his fabulous performance in the Euros. I think if I was him, I'd put, because they've sold Ben White, they'll have a 50 million budget, so Patrick Schick, I'd spend like 35 million on him, or up to 50 million on him. So I've got Brighton in... Right, this is a hard pick. Alright, 12th place for them. 12th place. And Grandad has said he put them 18th, so I know all of his, but I'm still going for mine. Right, so Brighton would get relegated on Grandad. Right, moving down to Burnley. 18th place. I don't think they have the best season last season, and I don't think they'll have a good one this season. And star signing... This is hard. I can't choose because I'm not sure what their budget is, and I'm not going to pick. And Grandad's got Burnley in 12th place. Right, Chelsea now. I think they'll have a good season and they will finish second, and Grandad thinks they will as well. Star signing, Federico Chiesa, 85 mil. Boom. Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace will have an okay season, finish 15th. Grandad says they'll finish 16th. Okay, and I think their star signing should be Patrick Schick as well, but I think more chances are Brighton will get him. Right, moving on to Everton now. Their star signing will probably not come the season after they've spent a good budget last season, but if I had to choose signing for them, I'd go Noni Madueke of the PSV. He's a brilliant young player, and English, get him to the Premier League, get him some experience. Everton, they'll be finishing 6th for me, and Grandad has put them 8th. Moving on to Leeds United. Another good signing for them. Their goalie was brilliant, so it won't be a goalkeeper. Their back line, I think it's okay. So that is why they will be signing someone who impressed me in the Euros, and I think he was good for the Scots, so I think they might want to sign. He's not really a defender; he's like a defensive midfielder. So I guess it'd be a good idea for Leeds United to sign. Wait, who do you think Leeds was a good signing that Leeds could make in this summer? Right, I think Callum McGregor from Celtic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a midfielder. So I have Leeds put down in 9th, and so does Grandad. Moving on to Leicester now. Leicester City. I have them put 4th, and so does Grandad. I think they'll be strong, and I think they'll win the FA Cup again. So that'll put Leicester into a Europa League position, as that will put Everton into a position for me. So yeah. Okay. Moving on to Liverpool now. I think Liverpool won't have the best season. I think they'll finish 5th. And Grandad has put Liverpool 3rd.
So I think to be 3rd because Rachel Van Dijk is back.
Yeah, Van Dijk. Forgot about him, but
He's back. He's playing, isn't he?
yeah. Okay, Manchester City now. What's happened? Right. Man City. Oh, wait. Okay, Manchester City. Moving on to them now. I think Man City, boom, win the league again. They're just so strong. They've signed Grealish, and they're very close to signing Kane. So, yeah, I think they'll finish 1st this season. Moving on to Manchester United now. I think Man U will have a cracking season, but I don't think they'll finish that high. So I think Man United will finish in 3rd position, only because Chelsea have got a good team, and I think for Chelsea, Timo Werner will be at 18 goals this season. And moving down to Newcastle now. So I have got by the way, Grandad put Man United in 5th, and I think that's low for them, but so yeah, I'm just okay. Newcastle. I have Newcastle put in a good position for Newcastle, 10th place. And Grandad has got them in 13th place. I think they're a balanced side, and they can't make many signings this summer, but if I'm a Newcastle fan, I'd be quite delighted of the team this year. Alright, moving on to Norwich City. They're a good side, again, just been promoted, but I think they'll come last, and so does Grandad. I just don't have belief in them this season. Like Timo Pukki, great striker, but he had a good form, but he's getting older now. I don't know how old he is, but so, by the way, I think they will come last, and full stop. So yeah. Now, moving on to Southampton, like the worst team on the South Coast. I think they'll get relegated. I have the fact that I'm a Pompey fan, but they've got rid of Ings, and they're close to losing Ward-Prowse, and they've lost Bertrand, so I think that's them all over now. So 19th for me, and Grandad's put them 17th, just staying up in the league, and that leaves us Tottenham Hotspur, Watford, West Ham and Wolves. So we'll start off with Tottenham. Well, I think the Spurs will have not the best season because they're losing Kane. They've still got Son, so they're going to finish 8th in my opinion, and Grandad's put them 7th. So, yeah, I think West Ham will get conference, just saying, because Tottenham are 8th. So, yeah. Okay, then. Their star signing will be Riyad Mahrez and Sterling, I think, because I think they'll get a swap, 100 million plus Sterling, and they'll buy Mahrez. So that's my opinion. I'm not saying it's right. Right, Watford. I think Watford will come 16th. They won't make any good signings this season, just saying. And Grandad's put Watford 15th. Alright, moving on to West Ham. Boom, you probably guessed it by now. 7th place for me, Conference League, and I think they might win it. And Grandad's put West Ham in 10th. It's quite harsh, but I understand it. And last but not least, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Wolves will probably finish strongly in 11th, and I think they'll sign basically the whole Portugal squad. Actually, no, not anymore because their manager left. So they're not Wolves Portugal anymore. So I don't know who they sign. I'm not sure about their new manager, but I think they'll do okay. That's what I can say about Wolves. Now, that's the Premier League done. Moving on to the Championship now.
You didn't say what I said about you.
Okay, Grandad said for Wolves, you put them 11th as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going on to Championship now. Okay, just wait for a second. Okay, so moving on to the Championship things now. We will start off with Bournemouth, as they are the top at the moment because they're like A. Right, Bournemouth I think will finish 6th, and Grandad thinks they will finish 2nd. A solid team again. Not sure who they'll sign. Yeah, I think Bournemouth will do quite well this season. Moving on to Barnsley. I think they'll come 3rd. Generally, and I think they'll go up with the playoffs because they're just the strong side. They've got ex-Pompey Connor Chaplin, so I think they'll do quite well. So yeah, they'll get into the Premier League. Not many people say Barnsley in the Premier League. I haven't heard of that before.
Connor Chaplin's gone to Ipswich.
Has he?
Well, they're looking to go to Ipswich.
Oh no. Well, you hear that? Well, you got the nowhere tool at the back.
Maybe not. I'll just check it out. We'll talk about him going there.
Come back to Pompey. Okay, so I've got Barnsley 3rd. Grandad's got Barnsley 10th, I think. That's 10th. Yeah, that's 10th. Moving on to Birmingham. I put Birmingham 19th, generally, and not best team. Despite having a new kit doesn't mean much. And Grandad's put them 8th. Now on to Blackburn Rovers. I think Blackburn, they'll have a journey this season, I think. And that's why... Wait, Connor Chaplin... So he's... Oh, yeah, Chaplin's gone to Ipswich. Oh, that's bad. I hate Ipswich. Okay. Blackburn. Okay, I've got Blackburn 18th. I'm not sure what they'll sign. Basically, I'm not doing any signings on Championship, League One. Alright, and Grandad has Blackburn in... Not in relegated... Yeah, Grandad has Blackburn in 16th. Quite good opinion, actually. So, moving on to Blackpool. Well, Grandad has Blackpool in 19th, and I have Blackpool in 20th. So now we're moving on to Bristol City. Again, they're a good team. So that's why I'm putting them 4th place. And Grandad has put them in 18th. Okay, let's move on to Cardiff City, one of the Welsh teams in the Championship. So, Cardiff, for me, I think they won't get promoted this season, and Grandad agrees with me, and they'll come 7th place, and that's what Grandad said as well. Moving on to Coventry City, I think they're a fantastic side. Just saying, they got promoted from League 2 about 3 years ago, and this is why they got Matt Godden, so 13th place for me, and for Grandad 23rd. So, in your opinion, they'll be returning to League 1, Coventry?
I think so.
Okay, right. Moving on to Derby County. They were just rubbish last season, despite just staying up in that last game. But Sheffield Wednesday, they didn't deserve to go down. It's because of that bankruptcy. They probably would have got promoted if it wasn't for that. Okay, so Derby County, we both had last. Simple as that. I just don't think it's their season this year. Fulham, I think, even though they're a Premier League team, they're not going to do an ex-Premier League team, they're not going to do this good. They're the Premier League side, but I think they'll come in saying we'll win this year. That's why I've got them 15th. I think they'll struggle this year, and Grandad's got them in 13th. Right, let's go to Huddersfield. Seeing Leeds go up is probably harsh as a Huddersfield supporter, and being a Leeds supporter and seeing Huddersfield go down, it's a good thing for you, and that's on the view of things. I think Huddersfield will come 22nd, and Grandad thinks they'll be up in 13th. Not their season for me. Hull, just being promoted. I can remember when Pompey beat them near Christmas. It was fantastic. And I think we can do it next season if we stay up, if we don't go up. So Hull, I've put them 23rd. They have George Honeyman, good player. He should be at Championship level, but I don't think he'll be the best for Hull in the Championship. So Grandad has Hull City in 22nd, and I have them in 23rd. Coming on to Luton. Also getting promoted from League 2, just being in League 2 4 or 5 years ago. I think they'll stay in the Championship season for me, and that is why I'm putting them 18th. And Grandad has put them in 14th. Alright, let's move on to Middlesbrough. Generally, I can't say much on Middlesbrough this season. I'm not sure of what's going to happen, and I'll put them 10th just to make sure that they'll do okay. I don't think they'll get relegated, and Grandad's put them 3rd. Strong decision, that. Alright, move on to Millwall now. Grandad has them 21st, just getting relegated. And Pompey are playing them. Make sure you play up Pompey. And I have got them in 11th. I just think mid-table team, Championship all day long, Millwall. Now go on to Nottingham Forest. I just don't think it will be their year. I think they'll just go down, just be unlucky this year. 21st place for me, and Grandad has them in 11th. Again, that's a good opinion, but I think they'll be quite unlucky this year. Moving on to promoted Peterborough. That's a good alliteration. Okay. 16th, Peterborough. Grandad agrees on that too. So Peterborough will come 16th. Just be an average Championship team. Won't struggle at all. Just be mid-table. That's all they need. And now moving on to Preston North End. I've put them 60th. Grandad's put them 20th. Full stop is all I can say there. They're just Preston North End. Win, lose, win, draw, draw, win, lose. Generally, that'd probably be their streak. Now moving on to QPR. I think they'll do quite good this season. So I've got them 9th. And Grandad has them... in... Let me just go a bit... Scroll up a bit. QPR for you. This is quite difficult. Have a look, where's QPR? Oh, Grandad has them in 5th. Am I that dumb? It says Queen's Park Rangers, so I was looking for QPR. Wow. Right, 20th, it's Reading. Oh no, not 20th, I'm just saying. Next is Reading. I've got Reading 5th. Strong side, just losing is a year ago. Not easy to commit with, but I think they'll be quite strong this year. And Grandad has them in 4th. So just one away from each other there. And going on to Sheffield United, I think they'll win the league. And Grandad doesn't. He has them all the way down in the dumps in 17th place. And yeah, I just think they're a Premier League team, and that's where they'll be back in the Premier League. Now Stoke City, I've no idea what's going on with them, but I just don't think it's going to be the best season for them, and that's why I've got them 17th, and that's why Grandad has them in 12th. All I can say is not many people fancy Stoke's chances this year, that I know of anyway, so I just don't think they'll be the strongest team in the league this year. That's why I put them in 17th. Moving on to Swansea. I think they'll be okay this season, not at their best. That's why I think they're 8th this season, and Grandad's put them in 6th. I think they are just a good championship side, just not ready for the Premier League in my opinion. And that's all I can say about them. And last but not least on the list, West Brom, and that's you can guess it, 2nd place. And Grandad has West Brom top. No argument here. They're just getting promoted. That's it. Then moving on to League One, the last league we've done. Okay, so let me just go on to League One now. Oh no, not. Okay, start with Wimbledon. They're just Wimbledon really. They've been lucky to stay up the recent few years, and that's why I've got them down 22nd for me, and Grandad has them in 17th. I just don't think they'll be their best this season, and they'll just go into League 2 and probably win that. And now going on to Accrington Stanley. Who are they? I've got them 15th, just League 1 side, not League 2 side, not Championship side. League 1 side, or not Premier League side, or not National League. Alright, you get the point. Okay, I've got them 15th, and Grandad has got them in, where have you got them? Well, let's hope you wrote it down, because, oh, yeah. Grandad! Alright, that's his Accrington. Who are they? Right, 12th. Let's go. Now moving on to Bolton Wanderers. Generally, they got relegated last time they won this division and then got promoted to it. And that's why I think they'll get relegated again. 23rd position for me. And not far with Grandad's, it will be 24th for him. Moving on to Burton. 21st. What have they done in League One for the past few years? They've sat in this division, done nothing, basically lost half of their games, drawn the rest of them. So, and won like 2. That's what I've got them going down this season. Like 21st for me and 23rd for Grandad. I just don't think they're the best team. And now moving on to Cambridge United. I've got them last, and Grandad's got them 22nd. I've never heard of Cambridge United being in like a good league before. I'm not saying you're a bad club. I respect you. I respect every club in this league. I think they're just. I like every team in this league, so I'm not being mean, but I just don't think it'll be Cambridge's year. Which is not really the club I think of. Moving on to Charlton. Charlton, I think, will come 14th, and Grandad thinks they'll come 13th. I mean, when they were in League One last, what a team they were. They had like Taylor up front. He was a monster. He got like 1,000 goals a season, but I haven't heard much of him. So I think they'll come 14th, and Grandad thinks they'll come 13th. So moving on to Cheltenham now. I think they'll do really well this season actually. I think they'll go 11th, and Grandad thinks they will come 18th. I respect this club a lot. Like being in League 2 for the past few seasons, I think that they've tried the hardest, been in the playoffs a lot. So I just think they'll have a solid start in League 1, and I think they'll just be a League 1 team. So moving on to Crewe. The good times of Crewe. There's no good times of Crewe. I basically didn't hear of them until about 5 years ago. I have them in 19th, and Grandad has them in 21st. I think they're not good enough to be in League 1. They're okay enough to be in League 1. That's all I can say. Now Doncaster Rovers. Doncaster 5th for me. So I just think Doncaster, solid team, solid lineup, solid all over. Fleetwood now. Oh no, Grandad's got Doncaster in 7th. Fleetwood. So hard. They're a good side. Pompey playing them tomorrow. 10th place for me. Grandad's got them 11th. So I agree with you. So 10th or 11th for me. Gillingham. 20th for me, I think. 16th for Grandad. I don't want to say much about Gillingham. They're good at being unbeaten, and mostly I just think they're a team that you can respect, and a team that most people know of, I guess. Right, now Ipswich. Yeah, Ipswich. Okay, Ipswich, solid team, just not enough to get into the Championship this season. So 7th for me, and 1st for Grandad. Yeah, 1st for Grandad. Now moving on to Lincoln City. They're a good side. I think they'll come 8th. I'm not sure why I haven't got them in the top 6, but I just don't think it's their year. I think it will be in a few years. Okay, moving on to the MK Dons. Mid-table team. 13th for me, and 15th for Grandad. Now Morecambe. I think Morecambe, they've just been promoted. 17th for me, and 19th for Grandad. Now Oxford United now. 4th for me and 6th for Grandad. Just can't say much. They're just a good team. Playoff final last year, did well, but they just couldn't. Well, playoffs last year, they just couldn't turn it. So Plymouth Argyle now. Plymouth, good side. 9th for me, 9th for Grandad. Now Pompey, best team in the South Coast, as I always say. Well, Pompey, best team in the world, kind of. Okay, Pompey. Right, let me just shut up about Pompey being good for a minute. 6th place for Pompey, and Grandad has gotten 2nd, automatic promotion to the Championship. I wish that happened. Right, Rotherham now. Rotherham 3rd for me, and 4th for Grandad. Rotherham, boom, just good side. They'll be good enough to make it to the playoffs. Sheffield Wednesday, solid for me. 1st place in my predictions, and Grandad has them in 5th. I think they're just too good for League One. It's just money, which was sad for them. Alright, Shrewsbury, 18th for me. I just think they're just Shrewsbury. And 18th is where they belong. And Grandad has Shrewsbury in 20th. And moving on to Sunderland. Sunderland. Best kit this season by far. But not best team in the league. 2nd for me. And 3rd for Grandad. Now Wigan Athletic. They were also quite a bankrupt club for a bit. But I don't think they'll do that bad this year. 16th for me. And 14th for Grandad. Wickham next. 12th for me. I think they're a championship team. They came 3rd once. So yeah, I just think they'll do okay. When MK Dons playing Pompey, this should be curious hit. 15th of January. And the best team on earth. Let's view that. Alright, let's chat about me. Well, Grandad put Wickham. Grandad has put Wickham in 8th place. I think that's fair for Wickham. Let's just view the best team on earth. Sutton. That's Sunderland. Yep, thanks. And that is the predictions.